Good morning, welcome to No Waste Wednesday. My name is Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter. Today is the second part in the series that I'm doing of the Ultimate Ideas book, and we are on to idea number 4. So we have already done, what have we already done? We've already done the gusset pocket, we have done the corner edge pocket, and we have done the library card pocket. And today I'm going to show you how to do a waterfall pocket series. So that's what we're working on today, and if we get time I'll do another couple for you as well. And this waterfall, as you can see, let me just pull that down a little bit. So this waterfall is backed front and back, and it's got little cards in. Now you can either put writing cards in there, or you can put a little photo card in there, whichever is your choice. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I have already prepped a little bit of it because it will take absolutely forever if I don't. So I have prepped a little bit for you. But I will show you how to put together 2 of the pockets, and I've also done measurements. So what you're going to need to do this, if it's entirely up to you actually, how big or small you make this. So the one that I did for this particular journal is 5 pockets. Okay, you can just do 2 or 3 pockets, or you can sort of do more if your journal is big enough and the pockets are small enough. So it really depends on the size of the pockets that you're doing as to how many you would do. But again, with everything when you're journaling, bespoke what you're doing to fit the journal that you're making. Okay, so if your journal has larger pages, you could get away with more. If you're doing an A5 journal as an example, your pockets are going to need to be a lot smaller, but you could still get away with 5 depending on the size of them. So just adjust what you're doing to suit your own journal. All right, for this particular one that I'm showing you, with it being 5 pockets, you're going to need 10 pieces of card cutting out, and they're going to need to be 4 inches in depth and 5 inches wide. Okay, and then your inside pocket or your inside card ideally wants to be 3/4 of an inch in height and 4 1/4 inch in width. Now I have used, I think that's the 1.5 inch circular punch. Yeah, it's an 1.5 inch circular punch I've used, but on my one that I put into the journal, I only used an inch one. So up to you. Again, just bespoke these things to suit your own wants effectively, and do what you want to do with them. Okay, so that's effectively what your pocket will be. So like I say, you'll need 10 cards cut out to these sizes, and then you'll also need 5 of the little gusset bits cut to 5 inches long and 1 inch wide. Okay, so that's 5 inches long and 1 inch wide, and that's going to be your little gusset that'll attach that to the page like so. Okay, so let's get started. Like I say, I have already made up 3, so I've got 1, 2 and 3 made up already. I'm going to show you how to make up 2 of them so that you can see how we go about it. So these are the two pieces of card. Now luckily enough for this particular one, these are actually double-sided print. If you're working with non-double-sided, you need to make sure obviously that the plain print, or rather the plain side, is on the inside of the pocket. And you also need to make sure that if it's a directional design that you're using, you need to make sure that when it's flat to the page, that's up the right way, and then when it lifts over, you want this to be the right way round as well. So for me, I would like to turn that one up that way round so that the flowers are the right way when I lift it up. So I hope that makes sense. So let me just go through that again. So you've got your 2 pieces of card. If they're single-sided, you want the non-decorated sides inside. You need to make sure that when you're looking at your page and your pocket is folded down, that top section is the right way round if it's directional paper. And then when you lift it up, you also need to make sure that that is the correct way round as well. Okay, so let's put it together. It's relatively easy to put together. You just need to remember your directional issues. So like I say, if you're using directional paper, you do need to make sure, just for aesthetics more than anything, it's not the end of the world if it is the wrong way round, but it just makes it more aesthetically pleasing to have it that way round. So the gusset needs to be glued on the inside of the pocket initially. Okay, so we're going to put the gusset on the inside. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on here, and again, if you can get the gusset so that when it's glued down onto the page, it's sorry, let me just show you. When that's glued down on the page, if that's up the right way as well, that's perfect. So effectively, you need to be gluing it onto your card pretty much upside down. And then that way, when it lifts up like so, it's the right way round. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So, so I want to glue, sorry, I've just confused myself now. Let me just check I've done that right. Yeah, so I want to glue this section here. I hope you're all having a nice day. We're halfway through the week, which is lovely, isn't it? And yeah, we had some lovely weather last week, didn't we? Okay, so now that wants to be, let me get this right. So that's going to go down that way. So that's going to be the back part. Is that right? Yep, that's going to be the back part. So I'm going to pop that onto there. Okay. So that'll be now the piece that lifts up. All right. And you just need to make sure that your gusset is corner to corner, like so. Okay, give that a good firm press down. All right, so now when that goes onto the page, that will lift up like that, and that design is now up the right way, as is this design as well. All right. And if you're really clever, you could even marry up the designs, but you know what? That's far too much like hard work, and life is too short. Right then. To make your pocket, you only want to glue on 3 sides, and choose what side you want. Now I'm putting my pockets onto the right hand side. Again, dependent on where you're putting this in the journal, you may want your pockets on the left hand side. So glue your pockets according to how you want them. My pocket, as I say, is going to be on the right hand side. So I don't want to glue this side here. I want to glue these 3 sides here. My glue's getting a little bit on the loose side. There we go. Let's glue that down there and glue that along there. Okay, and the internal part of the pocket, so the little pulley out bit, that can be designed, it can be a card design, or you could just put plain card in there, absolutely up to you. Right, let me just check I'm getting this right. That's going to go around that way, so I need this one to be that way up, okay? And then we just literally marry this up corner to corner, wipe off any excess glue, like so. Okay. There we go. So now that's glued down and we've got our pocket there. All right. And now I'm going to put the thumb notch in. Now, I do like to make, when I'm doing things like this, I do like it to be so that the punches or the thumb notch is in roughly the same place all the way down. So I'm just going to measure that. I know this is 4 inches high, so I'm just going to measure it 2 inches halfway. And then I'm going to bring my hole punch in, and I want that to be about halfway, or well, maybe not even halfway, about a third of the way, so that it goes in. Oh, let me get this one. So that goes in, it looks nice and neat. Okay, and then we're going to go about, maybe not as far as that, about there, I reckon. Okay, so about a third of the way in, punch that out, and there's your hole. All right, I've probably punched that a little bit further than I have that one, but if you want to make it absolutely spot on, then just measure them out. Now that I will show you should slot in there relatively easily. Okay, so that will slot in there. All right, and then as you can see, yeah, I've taken that down just a little bit too far, but that's okay. All right, and then your circular bit actually fills in that little gap there. All right, so that's how you do your pocket. I'll show you how to do one more. The other thing I will just mention as well, when you come to put your cards in, if you find they're getting a little bit stuck, little tip is if you just put a little ruler inside and just gently ease your pockets open slightly so that they're not quite so tight. When you're gluing, if you try and keep your glue to the edge, makes life a lot easier. Okay, so that's those done. When you're doing the inside card, the punches, the circular punches, you just need 2 for each card, front and back, and just glue them together. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one now. All right, and this one, as you can see, it's plain on one side and we've got the decoration on the other side. So these want to be plain to glue them together. And I've also done this so that the strip I'm using is also plain on one side as well. All right, and I've done that so that I can show you how to glue these in, so that you've got the print on the side that goes onto the page rather than the white piece. All right, so with this, you want to glue the decorated side to the back card like so, so it's plain to plain when you're looking at, as you're looking down. And I'll glue that on now. Make sure you're only putting glue onto the bit that's going to be glued onto the card. You don't want to put glue onto the other section of it at this point. Okay, so we're going to pop the glue down there. And then again, marry up corner to corner, like so. You can bend it over if you want to. It just helps to push it into place. And make sure that's glued down nice and tight. And again, this is the back of the pocket. When you lift that up, as you can see, you've got the design there, and that's the bit that's going to be glued onto the page. Just going to push that up a little bit more, not quite into the gusset there. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then again, now luckily enough, this isn't directional paper on this one. I'm just going to glue the pocket on there. So again, I'm going to glue on 3 sides. And again, don't worry if it's not perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to look okay, or it needs to be so that you're happy with it. All right, so just glue on 3 sides and then corner to corners, glue it down to the back. Marry it all up, make sure that's all glued in place. And again, there's our pocket. All right, and again, I'm just going to measure out the 2 inches again, just so that I've got a, oh, that's handy. So that bit there is right in the middle, which is nice. I'm not going to take that down quite so far this time. I was maybe a little bit overzealous last time. Not that it matters on this one, because this one's only the ideas book. Ooh, there we go. All right, so that's our bit done there. And then all the cards that you cut will pop in there. All right, like so. So that's how we make the pockets. All right, the next part of this, let me just pop my pin in my glue. Oh, come on, there we go. Right then, next part is the fun part. If you're using the same type of paper for all 5 pockets, makes absolutely no odds what sequence they go in. Okay. If, however, you're using like I've done here, and all I've done here, bearing in mind this is No Waste Wednesday, so this is all from my scraps. All right, I am just using scraps to make these particular pockets up. But if you want to use different designs on yours, just decide even how you want these to lay out when they're in your book. All right, so for me, that one would be on top, and then, no, I've done that the wrong way round. There we go. Let's do it the right way round, shall we? Okay, so that's how that will look once it's all glued in. All right, so I'm going to glue those in, show you how to do that. Let me just grab my ideas book. All right, so we start with the top pocket. You can, if you want to, start with the bottom one. The danger sometimes with starting with the bottom is that you might run out of space. I'm just going to find somewhere to put this. Okay, I'm going to pop it on here. All right, and before you actually stick them down, just check on your positioning as well. All right, because you do want to make sure that you are going to have enough room with what you've done. Okay, and I have got plenty of room there, so I'm happy that there's plenty of room on that page for me to be able to achieve this. All right, so I'm going to start with my top pocket, and all you do, I say all you do, pop your glue onto the outside of your gusset. Come on, my glue's getting low. There we go. Okay, so glue the outside of your pocket, and then you want to stick it onto your page wherever you want to start your waterfall. Okay, now I know I've got plenty of room on this page to be able to accommodate this, so I've left just over a centimetre, about ½ an inch, I reckon that is it? Can't see. It's actually 3/4 of an inch. So I've left 3/4 of an inch at the top there. All right, I'm just making sure that sticks. And now I'm going to come in with my second pocket. And again, on the outside of the gusset, pop your glue on. And then this one wants to be just at the base of the other gusset, but bring your pockets down so that you can check to make sure that it's square, because you want the bottom two corners to line up with the sides of that pocket. All right, so just make sure it all lines up as you want to before you commit to actually popping it down. All right, so that's that one. So that's now in there. Now we're coming on to the third one. And again, glue on the outside of the gusset. And again, just below the last pocket that you did, bring the pocket down, make sure it lines up. So just scooch it over a little bit if it doesn't quite line up to where you want it. Make sure it's square either side, there's nothing sticking out at the top, and commit to it. All right, there we go. So that's that one down. So that's number 3 in. All right, and now we're going to do number 4. And again, glue on the outside of the gusset. Lift your pockets up. Bring it in line as best as you can. Fold your pocket down, making sure that they line up perfectly. Okay. And then commit and give it a good press. Make sure it glues into place. And now we're going into my 4th pocket. I've put this one at the back purely because I've put the sizings on there. This is an ideas journal. So I want to make sure that I remember how to do things. But as with the other things, I am doing written instructions for all of these as well. So that we don't forget how to do it. And again, glue on the outside gusset. Lift up your pocket. Slip that one in there. Just below the gusset of the last one. Make sure it lines up. And give it a good press down to make sure it all sticks in place. There we go. Okay, so let me just pop my glue pin in there. So now what we've got is a lovely little waterfall. All right, so you can spread these out how you want to. With the one that I did for my journal, I did give them slightly further between the two. If you see here, I didn't bring them all the way up to the gusset because I wanted to cover the entire page. All right, so I gave them a little bit more spacing between each pocket. But on this one, I've brought them up to the pocket, and again, personalize it to suit what you want to do. All right. In theory, what I could do is I could get another 2 pockets in there if I chose to do so. All right. So this is what I'm saying. You can alter it to suit your own requirements. And then when you've made up your little cards, you just go in and you slot them into place like so. Okay. Now my recommendation for this style is that you make your inserts up and just make sure that they fit your pockets before you put them in, because sometimes if you need to adjust your pockets slightly by putting your ruler in and just easing out the edges, it's more difficult to do that once it's all glued in. So make sure that all your cards fit into your pockets before you do that part of it. All right, I'm just going to pop this one into here. Oh, I've lost it. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to pop that one into there for now so I don't lose that. And that's that one in place. Okay, so that's your waterfall pocket. All right, you can do these without making them into pockets if you wanted to. I quite like the idea that you've got the pockets there and you've got the little extra inserts there, which is quite nice. But that's that one. Now, I am going to be doing the written instructions for this in the description, but just that you can see on the one that I did last week, I've written out all the instructions and I've actually popped that into the relevant pocket, and I shall be doing the same with the waterfall one as well. And this one here, this was the envelope that I did, the envelope pocket that I did. When did I do this? Friday I did this one. And I've just put that that's the envelope pocket in there. This one is the simple side tuck pocket, which I put in there. And then the other one I did was this one, which was the simple library card pocket, and I've done the instructions for that and I've slotted that in there. So if you're looking to do your own ideas journal, it's a really good idea to write it all out, because sometimes you can look at something and think, that's all very well, but I haven't got a clue how I actually did that. So if it's all written down, it will just help you to refresh your memory. So I shall be writing all my instructions for that shortly, and I shall be slotting that into place. Okay, so that's that one. And I think we've got time for at least another one, possibly two. Let's have a look. So the next one is just this very simple simple pocket there, just with the fluted edges. Now that in theory is very similar to this one. It's just cut differently, but I am going to do it anyway because it's part and parcel of the journal. And it just, instead of this one being a side tuck, which is what that one is, this one is actually glued on the three sides. So I will do this because it is slightly different. There is a variation on it. I have chosen some paper, so I've got this. I did prepare myself, and I think I'm going to pop this one on here. And it's not quite as wide as the one in my recipe keeper journal, but that's okay. Again, you can alter sizes and things according to what you want. The one in my recipe keeper journal is about 4 inches deep, which I think is quite a nice depth. So I'm going to cut that at 4 inches. So that's that one cut at 4 inches. Okay, this is just the most simple little pocket. It takes absolutely no real effort, to be perfectly honest. So you've got your little card there. This particular one, like I say, it's 4 inches deep. It's 5 inches wide. All right, and all I'm going to do, I have got this little punch here, this little corner punch, and it's got the 3 little designs on it. I'm just going to use the fluted edge there to take that off there, to give a nice little edge there, and that one there. If you don't have these type of punches, you can just cut them straight off if you want to. You can do your own little design, you know, just use your imagination and just go with what you've got. The same as the little hole punches that I've just done the other little cards with. If you don't have the paper punches, cut them out by hand, or if you're not very good at cutting circles, do squares or rectangles or triangles, you know, whatever you find easiest to do. Okay, so that is literally ready to pop in. So all we're going to do now is glue that down there, across there, and on the 3 sides. When you're gluing, always hold the bit that you're not on, the side that you're not gluing, and then that way you won't end up gluing the wrong one. Position your pocket where you want it. Hold it into place for a couple of minutes. there's your pocket done. How simple is that? That is just so simple. And then you can embellish that pocket however you want to. And you can use it for journals or tags. It's absolutely up to you. So that is probably the most simple style pocket, but they can be very effective, especially if you embellish them with little flowers or lace. What have we got here? You see, you could put things like that and layer. So you can layer all sorts of things on them. Just use your imagination. Do whatever you want to do with them. All right, I'm just going to leave that in there for now, just so you can see that, you know, that is a pocket now, and you can pop whatever you want to in. Okay, that's that one. And I think the final one that we'll do today will be, let's have a look. This is a fussy cut pocket. Okay, again, very, very simple to do. Find a design, or if you're working on a journal and you've got a design in there that you like and you want to do something just a little bit different outside of the basic pockets. This is a piece of print that I had left over from when I was doing the Recipe Keeper journal. So this is how long this has been in my stash. And all I'm going to do with this, I just want to check on the size of the page. So it doesn't really want to be more than about 5 inches, 5¼ at the very outside. So for this one, what I would do with this one, I think I will take it, I think I'll take it up here. So I'm going to take it up the side of the jar initially. Okay, so we're going to take that out of the way. And then I'm going to fussy cut. And you'll have to forgive me because I'm not going to spend hours making sure this is done absolutely spot on, because for the purposes of the video, you really don't want to be sitting here watching me cutting bits out, but I'm just showing you for an idea. So cut that out like so. There you go. It's never a great idea to fussy cut on camera. Just cut out your main design. And cut that all the way across there, and I'm just going to get that piece out of the way. And now I'm going to finish just going round here. Now you can utilise whatever designs you've got, dependent on the journals that you're working on. If you've got a picture on there that you think would make a nice cutout, you can fussy cut it out, as I'm doing here, and use it as a pocket. All right. So I'm just going to finish cutting that round there. All right. So now we've got that little design cut out. And I'm now going to use that as a little pocket. Now this isn't actually on very thick card. Ordinarily I would have probably have backed that with a bit of card just to give it a bit more stability. I'm going to pop that on there. It's slightly too wide. So all I'm going to do is just take that up there, just to make it the width I want it. That's perfect. And now for this one, I'm going to glue down there, across there, and just on that piece there. All right. So we're going to glue it down here. I'm going to glue it across there. And we're going to glue it up there. All right. Pop that on there. Now, the other thing that you can do as well is, if you are putting this onto a page where this design is on, you can marry it up to the design so that effectively it gives you almost like a 3D image. And I'll show you what I mean. So that's now stuck in there. And that, I'm just going to grab another tag and just show you. So that now is a pocket that you can put things into. All right. And let me show you what I mean by the 3D image. In one of these, usually, where are we? There is a... Is it that one? It is. So with this one, this is the center spread on this particular journal. If I take the cards out that I made, that was actually the design of the page. All right. And all I did was fussy cut around the design itself, which gave that. So you don't actually lose the page or what the page looked like, because the main part of it ends up being your pocket. But when you take that out, you've still got your page there, which is lovely, isn't it? So I think the fussy cutting is a really nice way of doing things, but still maintaining the picture. I'm just looking to see if I've got other ones in here to show you. Not sure. I thought there was another one. I could be wrong. No, I don't think there is. But you get the idea when you're fussy cutting. Like I say, if you don't want to lose the design of the page, then fussy cut the bit around the page, and you can use that as the pocket as well. So that's that one. Okay, just checking the time. We might, let me have a look and see what's next in here. What else have we got in here? Okay, so the next one that we've got, I don't think I'll do this today because I haven't prepped this one, although it's relatively easy. This is a 3 pocket insert, so it's a three tuck pocket, but I've done it out of the one design. So again, it's one design as you look at it there, but as you put your bits in, you can actually see then that you've got pockets there. Okay, I will show you this on the next video, which will be No Waste Wednesday next week. All right, so if you want to see how to make that one up, I can show you that next week. But for today, we've done the fussy cut pocket. We have done the simple scalloped edge pocket. Didn't put a thumb notch in mine. You can put thumb notches in them if you want to. And we have also done the waterfall card pocket. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you're getting I hope you're getting something out of this. And if there's, like I said last time, if there is anything that you would particularly like to see me make that that you have seen me make up till now from the other bits and pieces that I do, let me know and I'll do those for you instead, rather than actually work my way through the journal. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I will see you all again for Quickfire Friday, and enjoy the rest of your week. So take care, everybody. Bye.